Tina Brigantini here. Welcome to my channel where I teach you some holistic therapies. In this particular video, I talk about the step down process. It's really the polarity process. At the same time, I'm giving you some instruction on how to perform tridoshes. Those can be used in any session, particularly if you're a massage therapist, cranial sacral, Reiki practitioner, whatever you're doing. So I invite you to remember to click in the description and get the download to get free access to a couple more classes in the Polarity Therapy Certification Program. So far, we have talked about 4 elements and the ovals and how each oval connects and the influence of each element to the whole being. It is so important that each element be balanced in order to bring somebody into a place where they feel harmonious, stillness, and ease and flow, to support them in accessing the highest energies of joy, of vitality, as the fire element indicates, to support their feeling grounded, as earth indicates, to give them the ability to focus, to have inspiration about where they're going in their life. Fire is about the direction. So if somebody has an idea, I want to do this, when fire is balanced, they're able to move themselves forward out into the world. And when earth is balanced, they're able to feel grounded and secure in their ability to move forward. Water is the place where they're finding that ease and flow. Remember that it has everything to do with activating the parasympathetic nervous system. And that's where the energy starts to step down. So now I want to talk about the step down process, as well as the element of ether. We haven't really touched on ether all that much, but what's important to know right now as I talk about the step down process is the way in which the energy comes from source, steps down into the element of, we're going to change the order a little bit, and we'll go more into this later on in detail. But what I want you to recognize is as we went through the ovals, all of this will start to make more and more sense as we continue through the lessons. But right now, we were really talking about the principles of each element and the ovals and where they're represented in the body. Now, I'm going to talk about ether and the fact that it is space. So ether is really the space from which all the elements flow. So if you look at your hand, and I'm just going to have you just look at mine for a minute, and you look at the thumb as ether, then you have what's called air, your index finger, fire, your middle finger, water, your ring finger, and earth, your pinky. So without ether holding the space, the other elements will become contracted. Now, this is important as you get prepared to go on to the next lesson, is that if you take your hands and you place them on your body just like this, with your thumbs in the center, your index finger, your middle finger, your ring finger, and your earth finger, what you're doing is you're actually on the long lines of the body. So there are energetic long lines. This is more in the advanced polarity, but it's important to know right now. So placing your hands just like this and recognizing that your thumbs are on the ether line, your index fingers are on the air line, your middle finger is on the fire line, your fourth ring finger is on the water line, and your pinky is on the earth line of your body, which means that we can refer to the fingers as ether, air, fire, water, and earth. Now, why that's important in polarity is that when we are sending energy through the body, we're using contact that is very similar to what acupuncture does. And so acupuncture has actually used what used to be, and I'm not so sure that it's really the case today, is that there was a gold and a silver needle. Now, the gold held a positive charge and the silver held a negative charge. And I know that acupuncture is the same today. What they're doing is they are sending energy through the body. They do it a little bit differently. Their points are a little bit different. And even in Chinese medicine, you will hear versus, so you hear wood and metal, and then you have air and water and I believe earth. And in polarity, it's air, fire, water. I mean, air, ether, air, fire, water, earth. So kind of practice that before you actually go into the lessons where you're using specific contact. When we are contacting the body in polarity, we are typically standing on the right side of the person. So when they're lying on their back, it's the right side of the table. Or when we're sitting at the head of the table, it's the right side of the table. Now, the reason is we're going to send energy up the body along a specific pathway. Now, in your notes, we are now getting into the tridoshas. So I want to go over how you actually do those because there isn't a demonstration. We are in COVID, so chances of me getting somebody to demonstrate on is a little slim. The tridoshas are just full hand contacts. They're very simple. You might want to, well, actually, you don't need to really take notes because it's in your notes how to do that work. Your right hand, let's take the air tridosha first. The tridosha for air is simply holding the ankles and placing your hand on the kidneys, and then taking your right hand, putting it where the kidneys are, and your left hand over the top of the shoulder. That is called Gemini. And then you go to the other side, you stay on the right side of the table, and then you place your hand over the ankle, left hand to the kidney, right hand to the kidney, left hand over the shoulder. Whenever you're doing a tridosha, what it's doing is balancing out the energy. Or shall I say, yes, balancing it out. So a tridosha can be done in addition with a pathway or on its own. And a tridosha can be very relaxing in any session. So if you're doing something like Reiki, having somebody on the table and just doing the tridoshas are going to be very relaxing. The earth tridosha, you will have the person lying on their back. It's a full hand contact to one knee while your left hand is over the lower abdomen. So that's over the colon or the bowel, whatever you want to refer to it as. And then you put your right hand on the other knee. Your right hand then comes to the bowel, and your left hand is angled at the throat. You really don't want to do this to somebody, even if it's light contact. That can bring up and trigger something from somebody's past life about having something around their neck. So just to be cautious, just angle your hand towards the throat. If you think about the palms of the hand, there are what's called sub-chakras in the palms of your hand. So it's actually energy, if you've ever done an energetic exercise, coming from one hand to another hand. Remember, your right hand is sending, your left hand is receiving. Going back to the idea of the gunas, the right hand is a more of a rajas. It's a fiery principle. The left hand is more tamas. It's a watery principle. So what's happening is the watery principle is sucking the energy towards it from the fire that is sending it. Now we've done the air tridosha. The fire tridosha is right hand to the thigh, left hand right on the solar plexus, and then move your right hand to the other thigh, right hand to the solar plexus, and your left hand will rest right at the top of the head. You can practice this on yourself. So right hand on the thigh, left hand to the solar plexus, to the other thigh, right hand to the solar plexus, left hand to the top of the forehead. When you place your left hand at the forehead, remember to be above the third eye. And now for the water tridosha, your left hand will be below the navel and above the pubic bone. Your right hand will be at the soles of the feet. Now, just as there is a subchakra in the palm of your hand, there is a subchakra at the sole of the feet. So I'm going to try to lift my foot up. I got a very high table. And what you want to do is be underneath the ball of the foot, right hand, and try to connect that subchakra to the subchakra of the client's foot. You'll put your left hand above the pubic bone, right hand underneath one sole of the foot, move to the other sole of the foot, take your right hand, place it below your navel on the client or yourself as you're practicing, and then your left hand will go right at this is the heart chakra. So the heart chakra is actually at the center, right over the sternum. Just place your left hand. Now, this kind of touch is very light, comforting. It will create a nice relaxation for your client. All right, now, step down process is to bring your thoughts back to the idea of ether and space. Energy steps down into the space. It then steps down to the element of air for inspiration, and then to the element of fire, which is movement forward, to the element of water, which begins to crystallize, and then to the element of earth, to be solidified, to be utilized or released. So if you think about somebody who has an idea, the idea comes from that place of inspiration, the element of air. It moves forward, the element of fire. It is something that starts to crystallize. The idea becomes beginning to become form. and then it moves into the element of earth, where it is either eliminated or utilized. And then the process starts all over again. And that's called the polarity process. All right. So, just to recap, ether, space, the element of air, the element of fire, water, and earth. Placing your hands on the body helps you know where those long lines are in the body. And really, you can go from the shoulders all the way down to the toes. It's the same on the toes: ether, air, fire, water, earth. In the videos where I do some demonstration in the future lessons, I may refer to these fingers as fingers one, the index finger, two, three, four. The thumb is just zero. I won't even say zero. I may say your thumb and fingers two and three, or your thumb and fingers one, or the air finger. So I hope you enjoyed watching that video. And if you love polarity therapy as much as I do, remember to go into the description and get free access into the course. And I'd love to hear from you. Your comments are more than welcome. Go ahead and comment below if you are interested in using this work, and like and subscribe. Okay, we'll see you in the next video.